my skin so gorgeous. We thank the life gorgeous. Thank the life gorgeous. I love the life gorgeous. Its torso is so tight.
Welcome to Life Gorgeous. My name is Mr. Craig Kilborn, Young Kreger, Lord Kilby. And coming up later, an interview with Dave McMenamin from ESPN. He travels with the Lakers. He covers the Lakers for ESPN. And the Lakers made that enormous, crazy trade. Crazy for Dallas. Luka is a Laker. So coming up, we're going to have Dave McMenamin talk about that trade and some other things. But right now, I just watched the Wolves lose to the Sacramento Kings. Kind of close game. We had our shot at the end a few times. We turned it over on an inbounds play. So, a couple thoughts. We had a 5-game win streak. My favorite win of the year was at Phoenix, the Jalen Clark game. Phoenix can shoot the lights out. They went cold in the second half. A lot of that is our defense. It's so inspiring to watch our defense. However, a lot of effort. It's just hard. You know, good offense beats good defense. And what I'm saying is, I've said this all along. We need more offense. We need more shooters. Now, obviously, Ant shot poorly. He came back from his illness, and he didn't shoot very well. And maybe we win the game. If he has a normal game, we're fine. I just think we have to keep building. We need more offensive talent. Nas played very well. Jaden's playing pretty well. But Sacramento has shooters, just like Phoenix does. And in my opinion, you got to have more shooters, more scorers. One of the things I complain about a lot is turnovers, and we didn't turn it over too much today, although the last one was pretty costly. We were going to try to tie it with a 3. We got out-rebounded today. The rebounding reared its ugly head. So Tim Connelly has to keep building. I hope we make a trade by Thursday. Yes, I would like to trade Julius Randle. I don't know if it's going to happen. I really don't. But we've got to keep building. The final thing I want to say with the Wolves, and they've had some really inspirational wins. I love Rob Dillingham. However, I don't think he's going to get the kind of minutes we all want him to get because of some growing pains. So diminutive, really, he could be a defensive liability. He probably is. But he's putting forth the effort. Offensively, sometimes he'll turn it over. He had a couple tonight. But I love his offense. He has talent. I love his offense. He had a couple really nice layups that I didn't know if he was going to be able to get him there. I didn't know if he was going to make them. I thought he might get blocked. So I think we all love Rob Dillingham, but I hope I'm wrong. I think his coming out party is going to be in year 2. But I hope I'm wrong. I really hope he gets more minutes. Want him over. I'd like him to get 20, 25 minutes a game. But anyway, so rough couple losses at home. Some of you hardcore fans know that we play better on the road. We beat that's what we did. We beat Denver last year in the playoffs. 3 of the wins were on the road. Concentrate better, I'm not sure, but we got a homestand coming. We have 3 more games in this 5-game homestand. A couple tough games too. Houston coming in. Always have trouble with Chicago. We should win that game. But Sacramento can shoot. We need to add some offense, some shooters. It makes life easier if you can score. It really does. can't always grind it out on D. But I'm proud that we are a good defensive team. That's very important. Very proud of myself for staying up late after the game and giving you some of these thoughts. Right now, I'm going to toss it to my interview with Dave McMenamin from ESPN, the Luka Doncic trade. And look who's here from ESPN, Dave McMenamin, hot on the story of one of the biggest trades in NBA history. Shocking trade. Dave, I actually heard someone said it's not an NBA trade, it's a drug deal. You are an ESPN writer, reporter, and a personality. I'm going to ask you questions as the reporter, but also as the NBA fan that you are. First, your reaction to the trade.
Kudos to Rob Pelinka to be able to find the bridge to the next star that allows the Lakers to be the premium brand that they portend to be in this league while they have the other stars still on the team. So there's no gap. You have LeBron and then you have Luka. And as great of a player and a person Anthony Davis is, because he is both of those things, he doesn't have the star quality to be able to make sure you're going to be on the maximum amount of nationally televised games each year, to be able to charge those ludicrous prices for courtside seats, to be able to have the marketing deals that you have with outside brands, all those things. Anthony Davis is more of a number two. Luka Doncic is an international superstar.
Yes. And your job, you cover the Lakers, just got more exciting. Covering Luka, correct?
Yeah. I mean, as a basketball fan, I love watching Luka Doncic play. So that part is fun for me. But just the amazing amount of storylines. He comes to the Lakers after losing in the NBA Finals, after kind of getting some dirt thrown up on his reputation on his way out the door in Dallas for his training habits, for his commitment to realizing his talents. And so the Luka part of it is fascinating. And then you throw in the fact that this will be the end game for LeBron James, pouring all of the blueprint that he's learned to be able to be the player he is at age 40 into this 25-year-old player. And quite frankly, I think this is a major blessing for LeBron, not just in terms of being able to compete at a high level in whatever's left of his career with the Lakers, but when he's retired, Luka is now the franchise face, and he's telling everybody that this is the guy that got me there. This is the guy that got me better. So Laker fans who haven't been too kind to LeBron over the years might finally embrace him.
Why in the world, Dave, would Dallas make this trade?
The best explanation I can give you is that Nico Harrison and Jason Kidd, who were both hired by Mark Cuban, the previous owner of the team, were concerned about their job security, and the new ownership. They convinced Luka that there were some warts there, and they believe that getting Anthony Davis and Max Christie give them a better chance to win now. And if they win now, then they have a better chance to still have their jobs in the future.
Interesting.
I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense to me, and even that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. There's the Supermax. The Wolves had to trade Cat because they were in the luxury tax and all this. Supermax. Luka's conditioning, Luka's defense. I've heard all these different things. Do you know Nico Harrison at all, and what's he like?
I do know him. I met him when he used to work for Kobe Bryant at Nike as his marketing manager. So that is like why the deal happened, is the one-to-one direct relationship between Nico and Rob Pelinka, because basically like both of them have their spots right now where they are because of Kobe Bryant. Nico is, approachable. I think he understands the business from the 360 scope of it because he came into it from a different angle than your typical GM. I think he's measured. I think he's done a good job thus far. This one, and again, like I don't think there's some smoking gun we're going to find out, other than just being concerned whether he would be able to be on the court. And maybe like he sees what's happening in Philadelphia right now, right? Like,
Yeah, I've heard the supermax contract compared to Embiid, who's always hurt, but he's if you want to compare who's overweight and who's, I mean, it's Embiid is not in great shape, and he's just too big for his joints. But okay, so what about the conspiracy theory that the Lakers, they've historically they trade for Chamberlain, Kareem, Shaq, LeBron. The league loves this, correct?
oh, of course the league loves it. Don't get me wrong, the league loves it. But what could Adam Silver do to tip the scales here, right? It's not like, hey, Dallas, if you do this, we'll allow you to relocate. I mean, there's no interest there.
Right.
Hey, Dallas, if you do this, we'll find you a new buyer. Like they just sold the team. Are they going to like freeze an envelope again in the lottery for them to get a top draft pick? Like I don't buy that part.
And why didn't Dallas get more number one picks in this trade?
The 2031 draft pick, and I can't wait until we talk to Rob Pelinka on the day this podcast comes out and get more information on it. I don't know how they got out of this deal without giving that one up as well. It's completely perplexing because it was on the table, it was available. They would have come away being the winner of the deal by everyone's eyes had they done it, giving up 2 first-round draft picks. I don't know.
What's the rookie's name? Connect. What's his first name?
Dalton Connect. Yeah, they were able to.
So I heard that there was 2 first-round picks, and Connect was involved. They somehow Rob Pelinka talked him out of it or something. So good job, Rob Pelinka. Do you know him well? Do you talk to him a lot?
I do. Yeah, I've been covering the Lakers with him in charge for the last 7 years. So I work with him a lot. He's a very, very intelligent person who keeps a lot of things close to the vest.
He has to, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a credit to him, the way he got this deal done to do that and hold it close to the chest.
Yeah.
Hold it. 17-year anniversary of the Lakers trading for Pau Gasol when Chris Wallace and Mitch Kupchak were the only people between the Grizzlies and Lakers talking. And that trade was announced and everybody lost their mind. And it ended up being a franchise-changing trade for the Lakers and Kobe being able to win without Shaq, et cetera, et cetera. The only way that deal gets done if it was not widespread. And in today's media landscape, it's really remarkable they were able to do that. And also credit, really the agents, Bill Duffy and Rich Paul, that were brought in at the last minute. Both of them, they could have blown it up too had they chosen to start spreading it, and they didn't.
The Memphis trade bothered me, obviously. Let me just point out that I don't dislike the Lakers. I didn't like the Kobe Shaq Lakers, but I do think the Showtime Lakers in the 80s may be the best team of all time. And I love LeBron James. And now I'm excited to see Luka. My dad and I didn't like Allen Iverson, but we watched his first game when he was traded to Denver. So this is exciting. A couple more questions about how this went down. I don't really believe that LeBron didn't know about this. What is your report? You said he found out at dinner?
Yeah, so listen, we're in Madison Square Garden. It's 8:30 tip. It's a late game, but the Lakers are staying overnight at the end of a 5-game road trip before they fly back to LA on Sunday. And so LeBron's wife was in town. He had other friends in town, friends and family. They go out to a late dinner, probably sit down to dinner around midnight. And not long after that is when Shams Charania of ESPN broke the news, and he sees it on his phone. And within minutes of that, Rob Pelinka calls him to tell him that. That Rob makes a series of calls after the deal is done. He calls up JJ Redick and Anthony Davis on a conference call, shares the news. He calls Rich Paul, and then he calls LeBron James. And so, listen, it's Rich Paul's kind of job to protect his client in that situation by not having the burden of information to know about this when he knows there's a personal relationship between him and Anthony Davis. It's also Rich Paul's job to know the long-term goals for his clients. And if the way Rich views this is AD gets to go somewhere that he's going to have a contract extension on the table and possible for him because their leadership believe in him that much. And that's something that AD wants, is another contract extension. And, you know, AD's not a guy who's going to play 25 years in the NBA. He's, I think, at a year 11 or 12 right now. I mean, we're talking about he'll max out around 15 or 16. And so Rich Paul knows that's what AD wants. And Rich Paul knows LeBron wants to stay competitive so long as he's still playing and wants to stay with the Lakers. And so there's no need to tell LeBron beforehand.
Well, I just think, I think you have to protect LeBron, just like Nico Harrison said, Jason Kidd didn't know. I think he knew, but you want to protect him from Luka saying, Jason Kidd signed off on this. And I also think when Dallas is making that big of a decision, and it's a huge decision, it's not just Nico Harrison and the new owner, Dumont. They had to talk to Mark Cuban, and that's my opinion. But they don't say this stuff because they all love Luka. They don't want to hurt Luka's feelings. Do you have an opinion on that?
I mean, if they loved him so much, they don't make the deal.
You mean Mark Cuban says don't do this?
Oh, okay. You mean them meaning Mark Cuban or right. Jason would push back against Nico. Okay, now I get what you're saying. Possibly, yeah. And sometimes that you bring more voices into it and you lose your clarity of vision. That's certainly part of it. Nico Harrison was working for Nike when Kyrie Irving was on the Cavs, and he worked closely with Kyrie's sneaker account there. And in the summer of 2017, when Kyrie requested a trade, that ended up getting out there. Prior to it getting out there, the Cavs had some discussions about possibly being able to acquire Paul George in the deal. When it got out there, it ended up being for a broken down Isaiah Thomas and a middling value first round pick and
right.
Jay Crowder. So again, he has prior experience, and Rob has experience of seeing Kobe get Powell on his side. They knew how these things go. If you start to add more voices to it,
right.
it falls apart generally.
Yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you the reaction of your best friend, D'Lo. I'm sorry. I just love saying D'Lo so much.
Yeah. Well, he's playing free basketball right now. He's very thrilled to be playing free basketball in Brooklyn.
You are I thought you have a good relationship with Anthony Davis. Is he okay with this? Is he excited about this?
I think there's certainly some shock on his part. I spoke to someone close to him who told me that once he kind of wrapped his head around it, it's something that he can see the benefit of it. And again, there's a long-term contract extension or additional contract extension that seems to be there for the taking there. He has a great relationship with Nico. Nico worked with him with his Nike account as well. Jason Kidd was his assistant coach when he had his greatest basketball moment, winning the championship in 2020. Jared Dudley's an assistant coach in that team. He has a good relationship there. He believes in the talent of Kyrie Irving. Like, he thinks he can win there and be able to set up his family with more long-term security. So it's okay. And quite frankly, had the Lakers not made a series of moves either this trade deadline or this summer that would set up AD in a way where he felt like he could continue to maximize his prime at 31 years old as LeBron gets to the end game, there could have been a trade request from AD down the line. There was not a trade request leading up to this. I'm making that very clear. But he wasn't so dead set on the idea of I'm going to retire a Laker.
Right. Okay, ready? How did Luka and LeBron play together? Because Luka has to handle the ball. LeBron, I mean, do you remember how long it took with D Wade and LeBron down in Miami? It took a while.
Yeah, a season and a half for sure before they found their true groove. I would say this: Kyrie and Luka are both pretty ball dominant players, and they just made a run to the NBA Finals. So it's certainly possible. The difference there is Kyrie is a better catch and shoot player than LeBron is. LeBron's gotten a lot better at that, but just Kyrie's better at it. So the ball should be in Luka's hands more often. Now, the Lakers, if you've been watching this year, LeBron's usage percentage for a good chunk of the season was the lowest it's ever been. It started to kind of go back up a little bit, but they've had a lot of scenarios where Austin Reeves is the primary ball handler and LeBron is, catching it off a cut, catching it on the move. So, I think those touches for Austin Reeves going to go away, and they're absorbed by, Luka. And, to me, the Austin Reeves piece is very fascinating. I think this will be about a 40-game audition for him to see if he'll be part of the Lakers moving forward, because he's going to be as valuable of a piece that they potentially move to make this team better after they see how LeBron and Luka play together over this, the second half of this season, because you'll have Austin Reeves and 2 first-round picks potentially if you don't make a move between now and Thursday.
And Austin Reeves, I think, is playing his best basketball, isn't he?
Oh, for sure. Fourth-year player, came in undrafted, has gotten better at every aspect of the game every year. Has struggled at times defensively this year, but he brings the fight to it. So yeah, he's a nice young player on a very value contract that making just around $10 million a year.
He's no Rob Dillingham. So have you seen him play yet, by the way?
I saw his stat line the other night, and I saw his very confident statement about it comes easy to him, which I thought was cool.
Finchy is a little skeptical. He says he's not quite ready yet. He's a bit of a defensive liability, but he also turns the ball over a little bit. But he can move, he can dribble, he can penetrate, he can create his own shot.
Gregor, have you ever called anybody a bozo in your life?
Finchy gets tossed. Isn't it wild that it's the same? The only time he got ejected was in the G League, and it was the same referee.
Yeah, that is
that is crazy. Okay, we're almost out of time. You got a hard out. I want to ask you one more Laker question, and then wish you luck in the Super Bowl. Rim protector. Anything before Thursday? Any trade for the Lakers?
I mean, if the Walker Kessler asking price comes down and you can get it for a 1 first from Utah, that's a player they've been interested in for a while. I would be surprised if Miles Turner is traded at all, or for 1 first-round pick. So I don't think that one gets done. They'd like someone with a lob threat capability. I checked in on the idea of, with De'Aaron Fox being moved, would Sacramento start moving parts, and could Domantas Sabonis be available? And
no way.
Yeah, well, and no, the Lakers, that's not the player profile they're looking for. So there's players out there, Pirtle in Toronto, even less of a fit with everything they're looking for, but you can get a stretch five and Kelly Olynyk out of Toronto. So they're going to be, remains, even though Anthony Davis is no longer with the team, his words still echo in the Lakers front office. They need a center, and that's what they're looking for.
I've heard people say they're going to finish maybe in the 4th now. What are they, 5th or 6th right now? Or
they're 5th.
Yeah. So it's going to be exciting. Congratulations to you, because
fun stuff.
I mean, it's going to be a fun gig. I also wanted to compliment Dave. The Philadelphia Eagles, I know 4 people that are decent human beings that are fans, because the rest of the fans are pugilists. I was raised not to use the word low class, but it's you. It's my friend John Powers Middleton. Their family owns the Phillies. It's Chris Finch, Eagles fan. Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, Carl. I got another one for you, Frank Vogel. Good man and a big Eagles fan. Yep.
Interesting. Well, thank you for squeezing me in, brother. I know you got a lot to do. When's the press conference with Luka?
Tuesday morning, 9 a.m.
I'll be watching. I hope Luka's dad is okay now. He was pretty upset. Did you hear that?
It. I did see that. I liked it, though. Stand up for your guy.
Thank you, sir.
Great to see you.
That's our show. We'll see you next time. And remember, young people, I'm proud of you.